So welcome back, everybody, to now known as Flyneau Plays 49 Hours by ScribeOfRhapsody. We're on Chapter 3, Hour 3 of 5. And I'm here with...
Chris, and it's hour 3 to 5 out of 49.
Why, what did I say?
Hour 3 of 5.
Oops. Yes, we're hour 3 to 5 of 49. Oh, English is hard. Aranea found resisting punching Tumult in the face to be even harder than she'd anticipated as Biggs and Wedge worked to slide the cover from the sewer entrance. She never would have ordered them to do something like that while she stood back and watched. If they were getting their hands dirty, so would she. But no, now she had to stand here and keep her hand on their captive while Biggs and Wedge worked and Tumult did absolutely nothing.
Join the Empire, they said.
Biggs grunted, dropping the metal covering to the side.
It'll be fun, they said.
He dusted off his gloved palms.
Funny, I don't remember sewers being one of the selling points.
Tumult rolled his eyes.
Mercenaries, no discipline to keep you from whining.
Aranea was this close to snapping at him when the Lucian helpfully piped up.
Perhaps not, but at least they have the capability. They have to be capable to order in order. Perhaps not, but at least they have to be capable in order to receive assignments.
Tumult's backhand landed solidly across the Lucian's face, nearly knocking his glasses off.
You are fortunate I need you to speak later, or I cut out your tongue.
Easy, Loki, Aranea hissed. Him talking won't do much good if he has brain damage by then. Geez, why was she, the mercenary, the one who was actually concerned for how the prisoner was treated, while Loki apparently had no such values? English. Whatever the case, even with her discomfort about the kidnapping aside, roughing up someone who couldn't fight back went against her code. Well, if the guy wasn't going to keep himself from injury, she was going to do it for him. She turned, facing the Lucian as Biggs started to climb down the hole. Sorry, but you're not getting yourself killed on my watch. She grabbed the tie around his neck, making it into a proper gag this time that he wouldn't be able to get out of so easily. He glared at her accusingly.
I'm sorry,
Don't give me that.
Sorry,
you don't have to say sorry. What do you want to say?
I was saying sorry for interrupting you, but yeah, I just love the fact that she gags.
Yeah, I know. Kinky.
Yep.
She finished the knot behind his head. I'm trying to save your ass. He scoffed, air puffing out of his nose in a huff.
Still picturing just steam.
I know. I imagine it as that cartoon way of it going, sweet.
Mm-hmm. Like when the guy's really angry and just steam comes out of his ears and nose.
Yeah. Yeah, she wasn't fooling anyone, including herself. It didn't really count as saving when they were just delivering him to something worse than death. She was trying to save her own ass, along with Biggs and Wedge. Come on. She prodded him towards the hole in the ground. Surprisingly, the stench was not as bad as Aranea was expecting as she jumped into the hole after the others had already gone down. She landed smoothly at the bottom of the ladder, causing the Lucian to blink at her in obvious surprise. Surprise quickly turned to curiosity, and he tilted his head, observing her once more. Aranea almost snickered. Really? He was a gagged hostage, and he was staring at her like a textbook. What an odd guy. Okay, time to focus on the task at hand. All right, Loki, where are we headed? Tumult gestured, a grimace on his face that was probably about the smell.
This way. We should be able to cut under the grave search and return to the surface in a few hours. I hope not too many hours. We stay down here long and they'll be able to track us by how we smell.
Biggs said, his nose wrinkled.
Would you like to join the Lucian in being gagged?
Loki snapped. Biggs looked anything but threatened.
Aranea
sighed raggedly.
I'm still picturing Biggs as just the big burly guy. Tumult is a small little dude, and it's like, you're trying to intimidate me, but I can pick you up and just go snap.
Pretty much. Let's just go already. Babe, come on, let me inside. I just want to talk. Go to hell, Miles. Oh, come on, babe, don't be like that. I was drunk. Rolling his eyes, Nix threw his dagger, warping to the next rooftop. He couldn't even think with those two screaming at each other, let alone hearing if someone was sneaking around. I don't see nothing in my sector, Liberta said over the comm. What about you, Nix? I can't do guy voices.
Fair enough.
Nix kept running, scanning the streets below as he tapped his comm.
Negative. The altercation in my area was some idiot trying to get back with his girlfriend after he slept with her sister.
I just remembered the mistake you made the last time we recorded this.
I said his sister, and it's like, not only would he be in trouble with her for that, I think he'd be in trouble with the authorities, too.
Yeah. There was a snort that Nix recognized as Lucius. How's that going for him?
Yeah, not so good.
Nix warped again, heading for higher ground as he yanked off his visor, hard enough to see out here without that.
Polina, anything?
Pelma,
anything?
Nix frowned.
Come again?
Oh, for the love of Lucius, are you throwing up again,
Quick,
Pelma?
I think someone's coming to my door. What's up? Sorry. I have somewhere to go today, so, man. Anyway, let's go.
Okay, Crow asked. Maybe you should lay off the warp strikes for a bit and stick to the streets. There was a groan. I'm fine. Nothing to report here. I just took those last jumps a little too quickly. You sure it wasn't those last few shots earlier you took too quick? Lush snarked back. Oh, shut up. Wait, are you drunk right now? Crow demanded. No, just a little tipsy.
You've got to be kidding me. The thing is, no matter how many times I hear that, I keep picturing him, her, whatever the gender, sitting there throwing up, and this drunk coming up and is like, "It's okay, buddy," and then he just starts throwing up beside them.
No, I know, it'd be hilarious.
By the way,
Nick
this is
muttered.
our third time recording this.
Yeah, I know. We've had to record this chapter 3 times. Nix muttered, Really, Pelma? He was one of the most responsible glaives there was. Look, tomorrow was my day off. How was I supposed to know I was going to get called back in before midnight? Fair enough.
Just keep looking, okay?
Yeah, every minute that goes by, there's less of a chance of us finding that kid, Liberta said. He needs us. Nix chuckled softly. Are you laughing at me?
No, I'm laughing at the thought of, Ignis needing them right now. He technically does, but at the same time.
Yeah, I know. What did I say?
Nothing.
Nix squinted. Damn, those streetlights were just bright enough to throw off his night vision and just dim enough not to help him see anything. Said Skentia.
Thank you. You've never met a Skentia.
And you have? Tread piped up.
I've seen him around.
Nix shook his head, warping down to a lower building. This view wasn't getting him anywhere.
Acts like he's about 30. Clever. He may be captain at the moment, but I wouldn't dismiss the possibility of him causing those Imperials a hell of a lot of trouble and making things easier for us.
Well, let's hope so, because we've got a lot of ground to cover, Crow said. Yeah, they really did. A lot of ground. And back to the sewers. Donald stopped suddenly, squinting at some graffiti on an actually dry wall of the sewer.
We wait here.
Graffiti. Yeah, that was no normal graffiti. If this escape was at all planned, Tummelt's source would have known there'd be no signal down here. This had to be a message of some kind. Aranea placed one hand on her hip, the other slightly holding on to the Lucian's arm. For how long?
A few hours at least, while the slaves search above.
Loki moved over to the dry area and took a seat leaning against the wall.
Best we rest up while we can.
That was the first smart thing Tummelt had said so far. Biggs didn't waste a moment, moving over to sit uncomfortably close to Tummelt as he tossed him an obviously fake smile. Tummelt inched away less than subtly and continued to inch until he fell into the sewer, hopefully.
Yeah, that's what I keep picturing whenever I see this.
Aranea nudged the Lucian over to another dry spot a few feet away, gently pressing on his shoulder to get him to sit. The Lucian did so with surprising compliancy, closing his eyes and resting his head against the wall as he pulled his knees close and rested his tied hands on top of them. No, he wasn't cooperating. He was trying to conserve and gain strength for when he could put it to better use. Not that he'd be able to put up much of a fight with his hands in that condition. Despite having that potion not too long ago, his wrists were already bright red again. The ropes were just too tight and not tied correctly. 6. Who taught you how to tie a knot, Loki? Aranea scowled. Wedge, think you can do better than that? Wedge squinted at the ropes from beside Aranea.
Yeah, I got it.
Aranea moved and let him kneel down in front of the Lucian. Do yourself a favor and don't try anything. The Lucian replied with a single nod.
Do be careful.
Tummelt growled.
It was a false act of compliancy that he used to kill most of my men. All of your men?
Yep. The Lucian actually didn't try anything, though. He just watched Wedge untie and retie the knots before bowing his head in reluctant thanks at the two of them.
Anyone hungry?
Biggs pulled a granola bar from his coat pocket.
I've got plenty to go around.
Of course he did, Aranea thought fondly. Biggs and Wedge kept 101 things in the various pockets of their coats. Well, not like we're gonna get room service down here. I'll take one.
Me too.
Wedge sat next to the Lucian, holding up his hand. Biggs tossed them each one.
You?
Biggs offered one to Tummelt. Tummelt waved him off.
Not with this stench. I'm afraid I'd rather ruin my appetite, any appetite I might have had. If you say so.
Oh, so you... Yeah. So what he said is, so you get to complain about the smell and I don't.
Mm-hmm. Biggs
Biggs
snorted. What about our guest? That was the wrong voice.
Biggs' voice. Yeah, wrong voice. Well, we can't have him passing out because of low blood sugar, now can we? There, Tummelt could hardly argue with that, even if he did have an objection to feeding his prisoners, which she didn't at all doubt. Toss me another one. Biggs did so, and Aranea held up both of them in front of the Lucian. Chocolate chip or oatmeal raisin? The Lucian gave her a flat stare, but eventually tipped his head to the left. Biggs gave him a look.
Really? Oatmeal raisin over chocolate chip? Bloody weirdo.
Aranea crouched down, pausing with her hands midway to remove the gag in his mouth, smirking at the Lucian slightly. You gonna behave now? His eyebrows raised and he shook his head. Aranea chuckled. Yeah, that's what I thought. She finished removing the gag and dropped the granola bar in his lap. Enjoy! Lucian licked his lips, silently picking up the granola bar and ripping it with his teeth, since his tied hands wouldn't let him rip the package with them alone. I'll take the first watch if anyone wants a catnap, Aranea offered as she tore open the package of her own granola bar.
Certainly. Feel free to rouse me in an hour to relieve you.
The Lucian replied immediately. Biggs laughed.
I'm trying hard not to like this bloke.
Tummelt heaved out an irritated sigh.
Was removing his gag necessary?
An hour or so later might have found Aranea lost in thought, but she was too amused for that, amused and in need of a camera, as Tummelt and Biggs had fallen asleep so they were leaning on each other. That's easy, just call Prompto. If he heard you calling, he'd come in a second.
Instaprompto. When
Yup.
you need a camera or just some comic relief.
Yup. There was a bit of shuffling to her right, and the Lucian stirred, opening his eyes. For the slightest moment, he actually looked as his age. He actually looked his age as he blinked blearily and looked around. The clarity set in, and his eyes sharpened again, coming to rest on her. Sleep well? Aranea asked sarcastically.
Not particularly.
Well, you're welcome to try and get some more sleep before the others wake up.
For what purpose?
He asked darkly.
The Empire will likely use sleep deprivation on me if you succeeded, anyway. A half an hour or so is hardly going to matter.
Ouch, putting that directly on her, was he? Can't say I know. Never been around for an interrogation of theirs. Not generally my forte. His chuckle was completely devoid of actual humor.
Of course not. You lot keep your hands clean, don't you? You're happy to keep delivering the world to their hands so long as you get paid, and you aren't personally there to witness the damage.
Well, damn, this guy didn't pull any punches, did he? Well, neither did she. She laughed back at him. Oh, no, Lucian. You don't get to pass judgment like that when you don't know our lives. It may seem easy to you to look down on us from where you're sitting, but not everybody was born into a cozy position behind your fancy crystal wall. The first spark of anger that she'd seen from him flared in his eyes.
You believe I was handed my position rather than earning it?
Ah, so this particular Lucian had to work his ass off to get where he was. Interesting. I believe this is the first life or death situation you've ever been in. That's not something me or my men could say, even when we were your age. We do what we have to survive, and sometimes that's all we've got going for us. We don't get the luxury of only doing what we're comfortable with. He looked away from her.
And therein lies our true difference. I would never compromise my morals to save my own skin.
Aranea snorted. Right, says the guy that's never looked death in the eye before. With that, he sharply returned his gaze to her.
Are you honestly going to tell me what the Empire has in store for me isn't worse than death?
Damn it, he had her there, the future advisor of the kingdom. They'd put him through every method they had to get what was in his head. He swallowed, resting his head back against the wall once more.
It matters not. They can do what they will, but they'll get nothing from me.
Aranea sighed softly. Yes, they would. The guy had a will of steel, but torture had broken far more experienced men. End. And chapter 3 is done finally! Ah, and we did it without interruptions for the first time, like, ever.
Yep.
So for the third time in a row, what's your opinion on chapter 3?
The same as it always has been. And I'm referencing my favorite tag, Sassy Uncooperative.
Yup. You'll be referencing a different tag in a few chapters.
Okay.
So, see, me saying that makes my heart hurt, but you don't know what's coming.
No, I do not.
Anyways, so we'll see you all in the next episode, which, who knows when we'll record that, but for you guys it'll be in 2 days. No, 1 day. Yeah, 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hope
bye.
you guys enjoyed.